The thing most people don't realize until it's way too late is that working really hard, trying to get into great companies, and climbing the corporate ladder, those are pure vanity metrics. Trust me, I've been laid off twice. The vanity metrics, the pieces of paper, none of them mean anything at the end of the day. This video is for you if you want to stop living paycheck to paycheck and you want to start using your income for what it was really meant to do. By the end of this video, you'll stop looking at your paycheck as the finish line and you'll start looking at it as the fuel that's going to fund your next level of freedom. I grew up in a middle class family and it just always seemed like everybody around me, it didn't matter what their job was, it didn't matter what they did, everybody around me was always trying to make more money. And so I think subconsciously when I was younger and it was even being pushed on me like, oh, you should go into engineering because they make a lot of money. It just seemed like nobody ever had enough money. And so everybody was striving to get more and to do more and just to have breathing room and to live better and to move on up. And I think that I heard that messaging so much growing up that I went and got an entire MBA with the sole purpose of doubling my salary because that's what I thought you were supposed to do. And honestly, I think that whole notion came from the place where I just didn't want a budget. I never did want a budget. And I think it was trauma from everybody budgeting down to the penny, like growing up and it just never being enough. I was just like, no, this is just not going to be my life. And yeah, I make a decent salary, but I want to double that. And I would just see how much money I can make. So that the story that I grew up around, I wanted to make sure that just wouldn't be me. I went and got my MBA, my salary doubled, and I stopped budgeting completely. Gift and the curse, because I didn't need a budget. There was always enough money. I started spending like there was always enough money. New houses, new cars, new this, new that. And then I started to realize that I actually did have a plan. It was like, make more money to do what? Spend it? That couldn't be the answer because that would lead me back to, needing a budget and having a penny pinch and exactly back where I was running from. A few years later, I ended up getting laid off for the first time. And I kind of feel like that was the universe's way of showing me and telling me that you need to be doing something with this extra money that you went and got an MBA to earn. And you can't just spend it all away. Like, I gave you a gift. I gave you the blessing. What are you going to do with it? And that's when I started investing in real estate. That's when I got the bright idea that my salary is supposed to pay for my necessities of what I need to live. And anything extra outside of what I actually need, I'm supposed to be using that for growth. I was just having a conversation with my friend Crystal the other day about the realization that wealth is actually built with the money you don't need. So I had figured out a way to come up with this bundle of money that I actually really didn't need. And now it was time for me to start doing something with it. So I started buying real estate because it was clear that my good salary and my impressive resume were not going to save me. And one of my best friends at the time, she had left her job. She was surviving 100% on her rental revenue. And so I was like, I'm going all in on real estate. It's going to help me retire early. It's going to protect me from future layoffs. Like, that is my plan forward. So I got in the game and I was able to see proof of concept pretty early with my first few doors that I bought. Money was rolling in. And I always share the story that the first $500, it simply replaced my car note. Like, that was my whole goal. I was like, let's start using real estate to replace bills so that, if we get laid off or if something happens, the things that we actually need are covered. And so it's like, okay, the plan is working. I'm going to work. I'm getting that salary. I'm using that salary to start to build other assets that can build revenue outside of corporate to kind of remove the heavy, heavy dependency on that one thing. And it's like, okay, now my salary is actually doing something beyond just paying me to live. And I'm sure you felt that feeling where it's like, I get my paycheck just to give it back away. This was the first time I had kind of removed myself from that feeling that like some of my paycheck is actually now helping me specifically. And I think that's the part that not nobody, but it's not being shared. Like if you talk to a group of kids or, in college or people that are coming up, like we're being pushed into corporate environments are pushed into careers for the sole purpose of making money to survive. And I really want to bring that to light. And I want to help as many people as I can see their income differently. And I'm not one to say, live on nothing, right? I'm not living the cheapest lifestyle. I'm not going to tell you to drive the cheapest car or to spend no money or to eat ramen. I'm not going to tell you to do that. But I do think even just opening up people's eyes to the world that regardless of what I need to live on or what that dollar amount is, I do need to make sure there is some window of cushion left over so that I can pour into me. And I don't mean 401k. And this is an important distinction because most people think I'm putting into my 401k, I'm feeding into myself. No, you're really not. You're not growing wealth. You're basically putting away your future salary right now. And so if you don't have any extra money right now, you are not going to have any extra money then. And so that's the distinction. Like, yes, you should have your 401k because you do want to have some sort of cushion to take care of your living expenses for your future self. But that is not wealth. Don't even look at it like I'm pouring into myself or I'm building wealth. I'm, expanding. That is basically helping you maintain the status quo down the line. So if we take the 401k off the table, how is your salary helping you expand beyond today? That's the real question. And I think that's exactly what it should be doing. I remember a few years ago when I was coaching a young lady, I was a career coach at the time, and she was trying to get a new role and she had gotten a couple of offers and she had also went and got an MBA, had gone to grad school, and she was entertaining offers for $50,000. I had to talk her all the way off the ledge. I'm like, you have more than that in student loans. That salary is not acceptable. Why are you even thinking about it? And her response was, well, because I can live on that. She was like, between all of my expenses, I can live on $50,000. And I'm like, you could. But is there anything left over to expand? I'm pretty much over this idea. You went and got an MBA. You went above and beyond. You deserve to be able to do something with your salary other than a roof over your head, a car, and food. You didn't have to go get an MBA for that. And I'm like, and she's like, yeah, you're right. I do want to be able to make some investments and do some things like that. And I'm like, you can't invest if there's no surplus. So if for no other reason, you have to demand at least 6 figures, because if you can live on 50, now you have an investor. Now you have a $50,000 investor that you can take and pour into yourself and help yourself expand. Imagine what you could do if you started your stock account with $50,000. And so we're wondering why it's so hard to get ahead. Well, it's because we've been following the wrong roadmap. The roadmap says, go get a job, make the money, spend the money, move on up, start living like the Joneses or whatever, or whatever the statement is. But what we need to be teaching today and the next generation is that if you can make $80,000, $90,000 coming out of school, you need to live like you make $50,000, and that will get you so much further ahead. It took me at least 12 years into my career to start buying real estate. That means all that money I made those 12 years, where is it? Down the drain, spent into the economy, into other people's pockets. I'm a huge advocate for, we're not just going to school and getting these jobs so we can survive. We're not taking on all these student loans and doing the absolute most just to have just enough. We have to change our mindset. I mean, we honestly should be breaking up our income into multiple buckets. Like, how much of it do I need to live? How much of it is going into my stock account? How much of it is going into, my business that I may want to build one day? How much of it is going into me being able to buy assets? And I know things are extremely expensive today, but you don't have a choice. It's like you can spend the money or you can grow the money. And I think we have to be having more conversations about how to grow the money. I mean, it's crazy because so many people are trying to quit their jobs, and maybe that's a symptom of it. Maybe if you could look at your job as more than, this oppressive thing that's holding you down. Maybe if you saw them as an investor, maybe if you saw them as someone who's contributing to your future, it'd be easier to get through those days. Because when I look back, the reality is that corporate has helped me buy real estate, it has helped me buy multiple homes, it has helped me make investments, it has helped me start businesses, it has helped me buy equipment to start filming and following my journey. I mean, everything I have is because of corporate, to be honest with you. And it don't mean you gotta love it, but I could see how at the end of the day, if you woke up on December 31st and you've busted your tail all year and you feel weighed down, you feel heavy, you feel unfulfilled, and you still broke. Oh, I know why you mad because I'd be mad too. Like, I'd be mad too. That ain't it. That ain't it. And it's like everything else, right? You can't turn the Titanic. As much as you hate your job, you can't quit it today with no backup plan. As sexy as it sounds, and as many people on the internet lying about it, that ain't what we doing. We're going to work the job until it can work for us. And, that's a bar in it of itself. We have to get to a place where we feel like the job is working for me. I show up, I do my thing, but this is very much so an even exchange. They're working for me. I'm getting something out of the deal besides a 401k contribution. Okay. So when I changed my perspective that, raises and bonuses and tax refunds and side income, like when I changed my perspective that it's not just adding to the pot, it's going into a completely separate pot. And I'm actually running an experiment right now here on this channel. I am publicly documenting all of my side income that I make because I feel like I made a mistake with my first asset class. Because if I had put aside all the money that I made from real estate, all the cash flow, all the monthly cash flow, if I had put that aside, I wouldn't need to work by now. And so I'm kind of publicly documenting myself doing that again, because some of the other ways I figured out how to make money right now are from YouTube, from digital product, from affiliate marketing, from brand deals. And so I'm actually trying to see if I don't touch that money, let me put this money aside and see what it can do for me. See what it turns up to be in 5 or 10 years. I'm just documenting it to see where it goes because I think that's the real key, because money will grow fast if you don't touch it. And that's what I meant by wealth is built with the money you don't need. Because if you look up and you're like, I got 50,000, I got 100,000. Well, now you got something meaningful working for you in the stock market. I think we ran a calculation, $1 million in the stock market. I mean, even if you get 10% a year, like that's your 6-figure salary. Done, over with. Like that's it. And that doesn't mean that's all the money you ever gonna need, but it should be enough for your necessities and your incidentals. Now, you may still have to do some other things on the side, but now you're doing things because you want to do them, not because you have to, and not because if you don't, you're going to be homeless or you're going to have bill collectors coming behind you every 5 seconds. So that's how you truly build wealth. I think wealth sneaks up on you. It's not something that you've been hammering down and trying to knock down its door. It's just something that you're slowly over time. You've been squirreling money away. It's been growing slowly over time. And then it takes decades. 1 decade, 2 decades, 3 decades later, you're like, man, I actually got something over there. And I think where we lose steam and lose traction is that everybody has been conditioned. Right now, it's like fast money. If this business don't make me $10,000 a month, if it can't cover my living expenses, it's not worth doing. But that's because you're looking at it the wrong way. You need a primary source of income, which is probably your job, so that if your business is only making 1,000 a month, or if it's only making 5,000 a month, I mean, that's actually building up to something instead of going toward your bills. So let's not, run to entrepreneurship or run to buying real estate or run to becoming a day trader so fast if the only plan that you have in place is to spend the money. And if you have no idea where your money is going right now, or even how to restructure your income so that it's covering your necessities, your incidentals, and also helping you build wealth, I'll drop the link to the cash kit in the description, because that is what you need to get started. Most people can't build wealth because they don't know where the money is going. They have no idea. And if you don't know where your money is going, it's certainly not growing for you. So if you are watching this right now and you are completely dependent on your paycheck and it doesn't even feel like enough at the end of the day, you have to know where the money is going. You got to start looking at it. You got to figure out how to carve some extra. You got to figure out how to put some away. And I don't mean under the mattress. I mean, it's something that's actually going to grow and that you can look back next year and it's like, okay, it's more than what I put in. Because we kind of have to start taking control of the fact that we feel controlled by corporate, and that we got to stop playing the victim. Right. I get it. A lot of things have been unfair, and we're all battling a lot of internal and external villains. So that next salary increase you got coming, that next tax return, that next bonus, have a plan for it. And I'm aware of the fact that everybody is not debt free. But I was actually watching something a few weeks ago. It was on Earn Your Leisure. They were asking, if you came across $10,000, should you pay down your debt or should you make an investment? And so for all three of the hosts, they all said make an investment. And I was like, that is real. Because when you pay down your debt, you still not getting nothing out of the deal. And I'm not saying you shouldn't pay your debt, but at least portion it out. And you'll see me doing that also with my cash reports that I do every month, with the extra income that I'm making through all those ways that I talked about. If some of it needs to go toward that, that's cool. But some of it, a dollar, a penny, something is going to be going to my behalf, 100%. You got to carve out ways to start your wealth journey and start your ability to work by choice and to not be so annoyed by your job. And I think the best way to do that is to give the job a job. And that job is not to pay for your cost of living. That job is to help you build your options and to pour into your future self. My name is Jerry, and if you're still here, go ahead and do me a favor. Give that like button a smash. Keep building that confidence so we can keep building that cash. You can get a behind-the-scenes look at my businesses over on Substack at Confidence is Cash. And if you like the action, the steps, and the playbooks, everything I said today in this episode, the link for that is in the description. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.